Everyone else is wearing a hat.
Hello and welcome to ProtoMet Friends Talk About Movies. I think that's what we're calling this segment now. Today we have watched the movie Rampage with my buddy Tank.
That's Jesse.
Well, the Tank and Jesse. I got screwed up. The image is flipped on the camcorder. I thought it was pointing over here. When I put. I'm keeping this in. So earlier today we went and saw the movie Rampage. We're going to give our thoughts on it. I'm sitting on the floor. Fair enough. So, who wants to start?
I suppose I can. I highly recommend you guys to go check out this movie. It's a good giant monster movie and a good action movie.
If you are going into this movie expecting it to be, like following the source material's story, don't. Because
don't.
It doesn't. Even from the trailer, I knew that it wasn't going to be following the plot from the games. But that having been said, the plot that there is pretty good. A nice story of its own. Jesse, anything to add?
I highly recommend you guys go see it if you have a chance. It's a very action-packed. It kind of leaves you on the edge of your seat.
Yes.
And it has some very funny moments as well.
Yes.
Including a certain monster that's kind of hairy.
That would be getting into spoiler territory if we were to actually talk about it. But it was a bit more gory than I was kind of expecting it to be.
Yeah, we all agreed that it was surprisingly that I'm kind of surprised this didn't get an R rating for all the possible deaths that people had that happened in this film.
Yeah.
But that having been said, it's not Deadpool levels of gore.
No, not at all.
Or a slasher movie level. It's the kind of gore that you kind of are half expecting from a giant monster movie.
Yeah, very much so, yes.
I loved the designs for the monsters.
I agree.
I definitely agree. And Lizzie looks disgusting.
I love her. I was so glad to actually get the toy back in February and just put it together and just see how massive it is. I'm gonna go grab it. Put you over here.
George ends up being kind of like a flying squirrel.
No, Ralph.
Ralph.
This is Lizzie, the toy.
Naked. Look at his little mug.
Now, the other two figures of this line of about this size came with an extra figure and some accessories. Ralph came with a chunk of a bus that you could take a bite out of. George came with a helicopter. And Lizzie came with the rest of her tail. That's how big she is.
Comparisons.
And from the movie, this is actually a pretty accurate size scaling for these guys, which was nice.
I would say George would be a little bigger than, looking at the movie though now, compared to Ralph though, because he was George was a little smaller than Ralph, but not that much.
Yeah.
Right. But the alternative was the King Kong sized figure that was just slightly smaller than that Kong. Same toy company did both of them, so.
That's gotta be a thumbnail.
Negan was good in this movie.
If you've seen The Walking Dead, he's kind of a douchebag in that.
And he's kind of a dick at first in this movie, but he's a pretty cool character.
Oh yeah, he ends up helping helping the good people out for a little while.
The Rock and
The Rock
the
and whatever the lady, Mr. Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock did a pretty damn fine job in this movie as both an emotional piece and as an action star.
Yes.
True.
He got to beat up some people. But the funny thing, he should have did the rock bottom.
Okay, so there's a scene in the film where where Dwayne's character is talking to these two army officers or army personnel, and he's explicitly telling them just what he's going to do to them, and they just basically laugh it off. And then he does what he said he was going to do. And I was like, he told ya.
Yeah. Chokes the guy out.
Just don't fight it. This one.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
And that's not too much of a spoiler for the film because it doesn't have any context.
Rip. Very awesome movie.
Very, very
Yes,
awesome.
the monster versus monster action is excellent.
Exactly. They're being called by something to make them all go to Chicago, all the monsters.
And the film does have an evil, sinister corporation that's responsible for this whole mess, just like in the games. But it's not called scum like in the. It's not called scum like in the games. It's called Energene.
Energene, huh?
And they are the bad guys. Like you can pretty much tell right away that they're the bad guys.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, there's some very funny moments in this movie, but we can't tell you it because it'd be spoiling.
I like the fact that at the Energene head offices, especially early on in the film, if you look closely, you can see behind one of the characters an actual arcade cabinet for the original Rampage arcade game, which was a nice subtle nod to the arcade games, and a subtle name drop for the film before the title actually shows up.
We do see another monster prior to George, Lizzie, and Ralph.
Yeah, this is like super early in the movie, like
in the beginning.
Yeah, right
very
in the
beginning of the film. So it's not nearly as massive as these guys.
No.
But he's certainly big.
Yeah.
He's big enough.
Whether it survived or not in the explosion.
Yeah, we have no clue about that.
Yeah, it's in like a orbital space station where it breaks out, and then the station gets exploded, and then the canisters containing this stuff fall down to Earth. If you've seen the trailer, you have a good idea of what happened.
The Rock knows how to do sign language.
Yes.
For a monkey. George of the Jungle.
I actually read a prequel comic a few weeks ago that was pretty accurate to the movie. So if you've read that, then you know what the whole backstory for Rock's character and George are. So it wasn't spoilers. We're just having fun with the toys.
Yes, we're in our 30s and we're playing with toys. You should try it.
Now I didn't actually pick these up. I mentioned earlier in the film that I actually picked these up in February. So we didn't go see the movie and love it so much that we picked up the toys. I picked up the toys for the Gamma Zulong set, and now that we've actually seen the movie, we're just dicking around with them.
Bonk, 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 bonk.
I was gonna make like a hyper cannon joke and press the mouth button. That doesn't happen in the movie. That was just a. So yes, go see Rampage if you haven't already. It is a very good film. Not the best giant monster movie I've ever seen, but that's largely because I've seen a lot of really good ones. And this one is pretty damn solid.
But then again, we have seen some pretty bad
Oh,
ones.
we've seen far worse films.
This is by far, it's on the top level.
Oh yeah, it's definitely upper levels for giant monster movies.
I
And
agree.
hmm And video game films.
yes, it is easily one of the better video game films I've ever seen.
For sure.
Yeah,
I've
definitely.
not seen a whole lot, but I have seen Super Mario Brothers and Mortal Kombat. So
Street
it's
Fighter.
above and Street Fighter. It's above Mortal Kombat
Mhm.
in terms of greatness.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I believe we said what we needed to say, guys. Or anyone else need to say anything else?
No.
So that was ProtoMet and Friends talking about Rampage. Go see the movie. It is worth checking out. I've got a monkey on my head. I gotta get this monkey off my back. See ya!
Yeah, bye.